Thank you for joining the William H. Gray III 30th Street Station Redevelopment Virtual Public Meeting held today on October 28th, 2021. My name is Jennifer Trotter, and I'm the Community Relations and DI Manager for Plenary Americas, the lead developer for the William H. Gray III 30th Street Station Redevelopment Project. Plenary Americas is a leading long-term investor, developer, and operator of public infrastructure throughout North America. With 55 projects throughout the US and Canada, valued at over $17 billion, we are excited to partner with Amtrak and the Plenary Infrastructure Philadelphia Consortium to share with you today the plans for redeveloping, operating, and maintaining the Gray 30th Street Station. Before we get started, we'll have a safety briefing, and I'll invite Gail to take us through the safety briefing.
Good evening, everyone. I am Abigail Barman, and I am the program manager with Amtrak for the Gray 30th Street Station redevelopment. And safety is always a priority with Amtrak. So even though we're in a webinar setting, there's some few safety concerns. Just anything in your surroundings as far as tripping hazards, open beverages. Just be aware of your surroundings and be careful and mindful. Keep your posture upright and just straighten your shoulders. Be mindful of your distance from your computer and stay safe. And we look forward to sharing our redevelopment plans with you this evening. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Gail, and thank you for keeping us safe. Now, today we're hosting this public meeting using a virtual application, the Zoom platform, and we want to make sure that all attendees are able to navigate the platform in the webinar format that it's currently in. So on your screen, there are a few key items about the Zoom platform. And I want to point out that you should have received a notice as you were logging on, but this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to our project website at a later date for those that were unable to attend this meeting. Now, all attendees, both the video and microphone, will be muted and turned off. However, if you have questions, you'll be able to enter them into the Zoom Q&A window. Attendees, you may submit as many questions as you like, more than one. And however, we ask that for each question that you have, you place it into a separate, you submit it separately. As you may have noticed, there is closed caption available in English on this platform. Abigail, I'll hand it back over to you for the agenda.
Sure. So we will start with some history on how we got here. We'll overview our project, then we will get into the construction concessions, the operation and maintenance, and then we will have an economic inclusion and community awareness at the end. So I will kick it off with the project history. So this project has been long in the making. It actually started back in 2013 with, you can see here, the project principals, Amtrak, Drexel, SEPTA, Brandywine, and PennDOT. We looked at the district and where it is going in the long range. So they wanted to think about the area holistically around 30th Street Station and what the next 30 years is going to look like. The consortium worked with the surrounding neighborhoods. You can see the coordinating and technical committees here to come up with a really ambitious long-term vision for the district. This plan laid out a lot of great ambitious initiatives. You can see outlined here, adding additional park space, adding additional roads and bridges, adding new real estate, new jobs. And you can see, we can put it on the chat or add it later, there is a District 30 website that outlines the whole plan and the history and how we got here today. But as the saying goes, every journey starts with a step. And that's what we're here tonight, the first step of this district plan. It's broken into 7 different phases. The first phase, which is what we're here to talk about tonight, is focused predominantly on the station itself and redevelopment of the actual physical station to modernize it and bring the station into a state of good repair and make it more efficient and better for a better passenger experience. And to implement that first phase, we have gone through a RFQ, RFP process that started in 2018, which has gotten us here today with PIP. We have a lease with PIP, Plenary Infrastructures Philadelphia, to design, build, finance, operate, and maintain all non-rail aspects of the station over the next 50 years. We just reached financial close as of August 31st this year, and we now have a 50-year performance-based contract with PIP to redevelop the station. And with that brief history of the kind of 2013 to today and how we've gotten here through the district plan, I'll turn it over to the stars of the show tonight, PIP.
Hey, thanks, Abigail. I'm Jeffrey Fullerton. I am the project director for Plenary Infrastructure Philadelphia and the senior vice president with Plenary, and really happy to be here tonight. We are certainly thrilled that Amtrak picked us through a competitive process to be the lead developer for the station, and I'm excited to embark on a 50-year journey and contract. I'm going to tell you a little bit about kind of what is involved with the project here very quickly, and then we'll dive into some more details. But as Abigail mentioned, there's a need to modernize and preserve the station. I think if those of you who are from Philadelphia will recall that you've just had the facade renovated and refurbished. And so similar to that, we're looking to do that now within the inside of the station, including a lot of the equipment and systems and things that have some deferred maintenance associated with them. Also really looking to enhance the customer experience, the customer facing elements, the operations where you get your tickets, where you drop off your bags, really improve the rider's experience. And then, revive it as a historic station, and but also, bring in some modern twists, improve the retail operations and amenities there as we restore the historic fabric of the station. Just a little bit about kind of who we are. So as I mentioned, I work with the Plenary Americas. And so we entered into the contract with Amtrak, a 50-year contract for a lease and development agreement that will cover the design and reconstruction of the station, as well as the long-term operations and maintenance of those components that we install. So it's kind of like a long-term warranty type contract. We'll talk a little bit about it in a minute. But we're doing that also with some very key partners who are all on the phone tonight, and you're going to hear from all 3 of them. And that is Johnson Controls, who is going to take care of a lot of the long-term maintenance in that 50-year life cycle of all the components within the station. Gilbane, who's a large contractor in the country and based on the East Coast, has a very large presence in Philadelphia, and will be handling all the construction and design work with SOM as their designer. And then Vantage Airport Group, who operates a number of airports around the country, and will be managing the concessions and some of that retail improvements that we'll talk about in a little bit more detail. So what is a P3? If you Google public-private partnerships, there's 1,000 that come up, but in this particular partnership with Amtrak, it really is a contract that is a 50-year contract, a lease agreement with Amtrak to design the improvements to the station, to finance those improvements, to then provide the maintenance and construct those improvements, and then warranty, I guess, our work, if you will, for the next 50 years, so that the station is constantly in a state of good repair. And one of the ways we do that is that we enter into a risk transfer arrangement whereby we've invested capital into this contract. And if there are if there are failures, if we don't actually keep the station in the state of good repair, or we have failures of the equipment that we put in and so on, there is a direct right of offset against that lease, and Amtrak will assess penalties against us. So it's a great incentive for us to keep on track, and it works in all the deals that we've done that Jennifer had mentioned earlier on. It gives us we have a solid track record of on-time performance and on-budget delivery, and it also really allows us to look at the lowest cost over the long term. So it allows us to put in, quality equipment and things up front so we can have a lower long-term operation and maintenance cost. And that is really how we save the public and Amtrak money, is through looking at the whole life cycle and the whole cost over the life of the project. So as I mentioned, there's a few kind of main components. I'll break it down in a little bit more detail here, and then you'll hear from SOM, and they're gonna go through it in another level of detail. But really, we look at these project elements as including a few things. One important is the station rebranding. So as many of you know, this 30th Street Station was renamed the William H. Gray III 30th Street Station a few years ago. And we will be going through a full rebranding effort, working with the Gray Foundation to put a memorial to Dr. Gray in the station, as well as redoing all the signage to reflect the new name. We're going to bring the station, keep it in a state of good repair, address the deferred maintenance that we talked about. We're going to consolidate a lot of the back of house operations to give Amtrak some operating efficiencies and improve the customer experience. We're going to renovate the corporate offices. Not many people know, but this is one of Amtrak's largest offices in the country, and they have about 800 people working here currently, and we are going to refurbish that office space for them. We're going to improve the station retail, expanding it from about 20,000 square feet to 30,000, and expand the Market Street Plaza, as you can kind of see in the rendering here, as well as then once all those improvements are done, take on the maintenance and refurbishment of it. So the non-rail operations, if you will, and life cycle replacement and maintenance over the next 50 years. And with that, I'll turn it over to Cody at SOM to go through a few of those elements in a little more detail and show you some pretty pictures.
Thanks, Jeff. Good evening. My name is Cody Stadler, an architect and the project manager from the architecture firm Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. I will walk you through the design intent and architectural interventions planned for the William H. Gray III 30th Street Station. The components of this renovation, as Jeff so eloquently put, are the station retail renovation, Market Street Plaza expansion, corporate office renovations, station facilities and back of house operations consolidation, Metropolitan Lounge, and a signage, wayfinding, and branding program. Regarding the station operations and improved passenger experience component, overall, the design intent for the renovation of this station is to provide a pleasant and clearly navigable space for Amtrak's users and the general public. The design interventions in this space range from restoring the grandeur of the historic main concourse, refreshing the Metropolitan Lounge, reconfiguring baggage claim, and an overall modification of user flow and traffic patterns in an anticipation of an increase in ridership. The passenger experience of the station will be improved through relocating waiting areas, providing clearly designated information and assistance zones through the placement of well-crafted pavilions. These new interventions will defer to the historic fabric of the station while providing visibility to their important functions. Additionally, while under construction, the station will remain continuously operational. As you can see, the existing baggage claim area is isolated and rather difficult to navigate to. The lighting in this area is also inadequate and uneven. Our proposed design solution is to refine the access and process of claiming your items after your journey. This historically sensitive space is restored and augmented to provide a more pleasant experience. The Metropolitan Lounge is up next. Currently, it's a densely packed area full of large furniture and poor lighting and poor condition. Our proposed design intent lightens the density of the furniture and creates a more attractive space for passengers. Seating groups of a variety of sizes allows for families and business travelers to use this space simultaneously. Next, we have our first survey of the evening. We have 2 survey questions for you to answer with regard to passenger experience. We're interested in hearing your feedback on the following question first. While waiting at the station for your train, which of the following is most important? Comfortable seating that is near the track entrances, highly visible information and service kiosks, visually appealing and well-lit interior spaces, new architectural pieces that do not distract from the beauty of the station. All right. And thank you for your feedback. We'll consider your answers as we continue with our design work. It seems as though having highly visible information and service kiosks, as well as comfortable seating near the track entrances, are the 2 highest priorities from this group. So thank you for that. Our second question: when entering the station after a long journey, which of the following is the most important? A grand entry into a voluminous historic space, clear signage and wayfinding to key locations, a concise and easily accessible baggage retrieval system, or the ability to quickly exit the station to your final destination. All right. Thank you for your responses on this question as well. It's really important to the design team that we have your participation as we work through these important topics. And a runaway winner here is clear signage and wayfinding. So that is great feedback. Thank you. And I'll hand it over to Jeff to talk a little bit more about the rebranding effort.
I'll actually take this on, Cody. So from a Plenary Infrastructure Philadelphia perspective, we are really honored to be collaborating with Amtrak and the family of Congressman Gray to update the signage and wayfinding throughout the station and really create a memorial that honors Congressman Gray's legacy as his commitment to civil rights has impacted the city of Philadelphia, the Commonwealth, and the country as a whole, not to mention his efforts throughout the world. As you can see, the station was renamed by an act of Congress in 2014. It's one of the few stations named after an African-American leader, and we will be working to really just highlight his efforts to the community in the station.
Thanks, Jennifer. Our next component of the project is the Market Street Plaza. Little Market Street is being repurposed as a pedestrian-friendly space. This conversion will create a more dynamic exterior environment for a variety of functions. A blend of hardscaping and planted areas will help create outdoor rooms of a variety of scales to suit these functions. Moreover, an improved and safer circulation pattern will help direct traffic to and from the station's entrance. In concert with the retail in the adjacent South Concourse, a new canopy and this expanded pedestrian zone will be able to accommodate farmers markets, outdoor events, and other social gatherings. The existing Market Street Plaza area, which is currently Little Market Street, presents a conflict between automotive and pedestrian traffic, which creates an unsafe condition for passengers and occupants of the station as they travel to and from. In this rendering, you can see our proposed design solution. And we propose that Little Market Street be closed off in favor of a pedestrian-friendly space that is safe and full of planted areas for people visiting in the station. This plan shows the transition from the South Concourse retail space to the covered area underneath the detached canopy to the mix of hardscape and planted areas of the Market Street Plaza. The only vehicular access to remain for this area would be for emergency vehicular access as indicated by the dashed red line. From this rendering, you can see our design intent of hosting a market space underneath a minimal canopy adjacent to the South Concourse retail. This zone will help transition retail functions from the inside of the station to the exterior and will help create a front door experience for the station. We have 2 more survey questions for you to answer. We're interested in hearing your feedback on the following question first. What would you prefer for a public plaza? A variety of open and covered spaces, a mix of planted and paved surfaces, overhead cover outside of the station entrances, and seating arrangements for a variety of sizes or groups. All right. It appears that there's a pretty even race across all 4 of the options. So that's actually quite helpful because all 4 of those options are a part of that design solution. Thanks for your answers. We do intend to make this public space a reflection of its occupants, and this feedback is helpful. The second question that we have is, what elements would improve your experience of the Market Street Plaza? A farmer's market, a concert music performance area, small gathering spaces, or extensive planting areas? All right. And it looks like the winner by a slight margin is the farmers market space. So once again, thanks for your responses. Having this input from all of you is very valuable with regard to the public functions, and it helps us craft the space to be more appropriately and better utilized. The next component of the station space renovation is the station retail. The balance of these station renovations is in that of retail areas throughout the public space. Our intent is to refresh and renovate these spaces to fit in with the historic design aesthetic of the station itself. We are designing these spaces with seating that occupies the historic and vibrant areas of the station so that more people can enjoy this wonderful and beautiful space. Furthermore, there will be upgraded retail and food and beverage offerings for rail passengers with options for the general public as well. The central arcade is the first of these existing conditions, and as it stands today, it feels much like a standard food court with excessive visual noise and a large swath of seating with very little mention or nod to the historic nature of the space. Our proposed design intent is to consolidate these spaces into a more centrally located space with perimeter seating. A restoration of historic storefronts surrounding this space will help restore it to its historic grandeur, as well as augmenting that historic nature with new interjections of design. Next is the main concourse. This space is probably the least occupied space of the station with regard to retail. Currently, it's devoid of the buzz and vibrant nature of the retail spaces that are adjacent to it. With the infusion of seating areas for food and beverage spaces in the main concourse, this space will become enlivened and full of life. By putting programmed seating spaces in the main concourse, it will give the space a burst of energy that it currently does not contain. And one survey question now with regard to the station spaces. We're interested in hearing your feedback on which of the following qualities of space would improve your experience of the main concourse level. A restored historic fabric, clear wayfinding and signage, modern and comfortable seating options, and crisp architectural details. All right, it looks like there's a high priority on restored historic fabric and modern and comfortable seating options. And thank you for that feedback. We're honored to be working in this space, and those are definitely components of this project that we are carefully considering as we move forward. The next major component of this project is the corporate office. As Jeff mentioned, this is a large component of this building. It resides over the station spaces, and this is the first renovation of this space in over 30 years. The team is proposing to renovate 5 floors of office space to create a modern and efficient workspace for more than 1,300 Amtrak employees. And finally, the station will undergo a series of state of good repair renovations to bring systems and building infrastructure up to current standards and back to operational efficiency. Included in this laundry list of items are more efficient HVAC systems, new electrical infrastructure, a modern IT infrastructure, upgraded and refurbished lighting, roof replacement, as well as replacement of escalators and elevators. At the end of the 50-year contract, the intent is to hand this station back to Amtrak in this state of good repair. And I will now pass it off to Jenny Gwynn to discuss the historic significance. Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. My name is Jenny Gwynn. I'm an architect and principal with Beyer Blender Bell Architects, and we're privileged to serve as the historic preservation architect on this project. The station is listed on the National Register of Historic Places as well as the Philadelphia Register. The station is significant in the context of urban planning as a monumental rail station constructed by the Pennsylvania Railroad that transformed urban Philadelphia. The city is also significant in the context of architectural design for its association with the architectural firm Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White, whose neoclassical design reflects a more simplified and contemporary classicism with the use of Art Deco and Art Moderne elements. Our approach to historic fabric will be carefully considered and aligned with the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation. All interventions in the historic areas will be reversible per the Secretary of the Interior standards and will be purposely differentiated from the historic massing and material of the existing historic fabric. All new elements will be designed to highlight and not obscure character defining features, such as some of the features that you see here in the main waiting room. Thank you. You see here a list of the key items that will be restored, which is includes the finishes, the travertine and plaster that you see here in this photo, as well as bronze doors, lighting, and wood benches. There's also two features that I'm sure many of you think of when you think of the historic character of the station, and that is the Spirit of Transportation bas-relief in the North Waiting Room and the Pennsylvania Railroad War Memorial, both of which will be retained and restored as part of this project.
Thank you, Jenny, for that. My name is Yanni Vardaniotis. I'm a senior project manager at the Gilbane Building Company. Gilbane is one of the oldest continuously operating family-owned businesses in the United States. In fact, we just celebrated our 150th anniversary in business. As you can see here in this slide, Gilbane is recognized as one of the premier general contractors in the United States. Locally here in Philadelphia, Gilbane was ranked top 10 local contractor in 2020 by the Philadelphia Business Journal, as well as winner of the 2020 Excellence in Safety Award of the Philadelphia General Building Contractors Association. The Gilbane Philadelphia Business Unit has been building Philadelphia for more than 35 years. A few local projects. We just recently completed the live casino and hotel at the Stadium District, as well as the Northeast Community Propel Academy, a K-8 school, which was also a very successful P3 project. PIP has developed a phased approach to the construction to minimize impacts to the construction experience and allow Amtrak to maintain train operations. As you can see here, there are 6 major phases of constructions outlined in the slide, with the corporate office, state of good repair, station retail, Market Street Plaza, station operations, and the Metropolitan Lounge. As you can see, many of these activities will occur concurrently. However, each major activity will be further broken down into smaller ones to, again, preserve the customer experience and minimize impacts. We are currently at a 40% design package, marching towards 100% with an anticipated completion date of early spring 2022. Gilbane will mobilize in late spring of 2022 to begin construction activities, targeting a substantial completion date in the winter of 2025.
Good evening. My name is Mike Golden. I work for Vantage Airport Group. I am a commercial director for the company and the project manager for Vantage on this project. Just want to introduce Vantage Airport Group, and I'll talk a little bit about our plans for the station. Vantage owns and operates and consults on transit facilities throughout the world. We have been involved in over 30 facilities throughout the world, and including LaGuardia Terminal B, which we run the development there, and Chicago Midway Airport, where we run the concession program. We will be responsible for the retail food and beverage program at the station and services such as the car rental counters. Our focus will be on creating a concession program that serves all customers in the station. Amtrak, SEPTA, and New Jersey Transit passengers, as well as all employees in the area. There are many employees across the street, inside the building, and we want to make sure that they're all looked after. Also, there are a lot of residents in the area, and there's a lot of growth going on right now, as well as tourists and university students. We want to provide all these customers with breakfast, lunch, dinner, with opportunities for shopping, and want to make sure we do that at all different price points. So there'll be so many opportunities for everybody. The different type of offerings we want to look at is sit down, quick service, fast casual, grab and go, specialty retail, and travel retail. We are still working to determine our brands and operations, as we won't be opening the full program until 2025. So our leasing program is just underway, and so we have a little bit of time before we do open the program. But in the meantime, it would be great to hear from everybody on this call to get your feedback on what you think would work in the station. So we have another survey for you. The first question would be, which cuisine types would you like to see more at 30th Street Station? We've got sandwiches or deli, cheesesteak, barbecue, burgers, and chicken. And we know that some of these are their own separate, but because there's only 10 options on the Zoom, we had to combine a few. Fresh salads and vegan, Italian, which could be pasta and or pizza, Mexican, stir fry, sushi, and bakery desserts and snacks. Okay, let's see if we've got. And the survey says, here we go. Fresh salads and vegan, which is always which is really a hot thing right now, as well as sandwiches and deli. We do find that people like that there's so many different options out there, and of course we're going to try to do as much of these as we possibly can. The next survey is which food and beverage store types would you like to see more of at 30th Street Station? More coffee, bars, more grab and go kinds of food, fast food, or restaurants with table service, and then potentially even more lounges. Okay. All right, survey. There you go. Oh, good. More restaurants with table service. That's something that we know is lacking right now, and we're really looking forward to bringing that to to the station, as well as grab and go food for everybody who's running through the station and needs to get from the train to their office or back home again. So that's really helpful. And then let's see, we've got two more. What type of retail stores would you like to see more at the station? Is it news and convenience, gifts, such as souvenirs, confectionery, and home goods, travel accessories, electronics, fashion accessories? Well, fashion accessories and fashion clothing, books, and perfume and cosmetics. Okay. Great. You know, books are making a comeback, and I love to see that as well. News and convenience is just so important for a station like this. So thank you very much for that input. And then what type of services would you like to see at 30th Street? This is an area that's really starting to take hold in transit centers with, you know, spas, nail salons, hair salons, barbershops, work productivity areas, co-working areas, private lounge maybe, fitness, sleep relaxation, or not sure. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, co-working areas, very interesting. It's a new wave, as well as private lounge. Great. Well, thank you everyone for your input. This is helpful, and we're really looking forward to bringing a new updated program over the next couple of years. Thank you. The next group that will talk will be Johnson Controls.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Loveland. I am a service manager for the Philadelphia branch of Johnson Controls. And on behalf of the hundreds of men and women that I work with, that are my colleagues that live and work in the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding areas, we are both excited and honored to be a part of this project. Johnson Controls is a building technology conglomerate. And that means that we are in every part of a building, whether it is the mechanical systems or the controls or smart technology, that is our bailiwick. That's what we're known for. In the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we have 2,000 employees. We operate 3 different manufacturing plants. Even though that we're a national and international company with over 170,000 employees, we are embedded in the Philadelphia community. We partner with Local 420 for all of our technicians and our maintenance teams. We're also involved in a lot of vocational talent searches and bringing up the next generation with Energy Coordination Lab and also Community College to help, like I said, develop the next generation. 30th Street Station is not only iconic, but is the gateway to the city of Philadelphia. Every year, thousands and thousands of people go through the station. And part of Johnson Controls project and what we're trying to do, and we will be responsible for, is when they come into that station, they feel safe, they know it's clean, they just see what Philadelphia is. And part of that is making sure that the history of the station goes into the future of the station. So what we're going to do, and we're involved in, is long-term life cycle. So over the next 50 years, we'll be responsible to keep up what we're now renovating. whether it's the building automations or the doors or painting. We want everybody to feel just as comfortable the minute that this project is finished into the next 50 years until it's turned over back to Amtrak. That is our goal and commitment. And now we turn it back over.
Thank you, Karen, for sharing that information about the operations and maintenance of the station over the next 50 years. Our next topic that we'll be delving into is economic inclusion. And I want to pause for a moment and say, we note the Q&A, the questions coming into the Q&A, and thank you, keep them coming. We do have a team that's tracking them to make sure that we'll be responding to those questions at the end of the presentation. Now, PIP is not only excited to be working with Amtrak to redevelop the station, but also to do so in a way that reflects the rich diversity of Philadelphia. We've created an economic inclusion plan that creates subcontracting and job opportunities, career opportunities for Philadelphians throughout the station and throughout all stages of the project. Plenary Infrastructure Philadelphia as a consortium, including the 3 groups that you just heard from, Johnson Controls, Vantage Airport Group, and Gilbane Building Company. All 3 have really strong commitments to, not only commitments, but also experience in including diverse, small, local suppliers and workforce. So I'd like to share with you a little bit more information, and we'll hand it over to Yvette Stevens with Gilbane to dive into the construction aspect of economic inclusion.
Thanks, Jennifer. So again, my name is Yvette Stevens. I am Vice President and Director of Economic Inclusion and Community Affairs with Gilbane. And so what that really means is that on this project and all projects, we want to make sure that we're focusing on maximizing participation of both local and diverse businesses, as well as the local workforce. And so one of the ways in which we are going to measure success on this project is through those economic inclusion efforts. And that is twofold. We talk about it from a business side standpoint as well as from a workforce. And we know in order to do that, our efforts have to be intentional. So we want to make sure that we use those proven strategies that Jennifer mentioned, both in the Philadelphia market as well as across the country. And so in order to confirm our commitment on this project, there is a 35% DBE subcontracting goal. And the way in which we want to help to reach that goal is through those strategies, such as making sure that we provide the training and development that is needed for companies that are in the local area. Also, making sure that it's part of our procurement process, right? So it can't just be something that we think will happen automatically. We have to weave into the processes that we do on a daily basis throughout the construction, whether that's from the beginning through pre-construction or even through closeout, making sure even through our procurement processes, right? Are we tailoring our bid packages to make sure that they match the capacity of the firms that are in the market? Tailoring our outreach as well, making sure we are coming to you in sessions just like this to give you details and updates on the project, as well as so you can meet the team and develop relationships so that there's opportunities that are available to you. You can see what those opportunities are throughout the life of the project. Mentor protege opportunities, whether it's through a formal program like our Rosin Contractor program, which is an 8-week session where we go over business related topics, whether it be business development or estimating and bonding and insurance. And then after that program, assigning you with a Gilbane mentor who can help to with the growth and development of your business after that 8 weeks is over. Or if maybe through mentor protege relationships that are not through that formal program, I'd like to acknowledge our relationship and partnership with Pride Enterprises, who is a certified MBE and SBE construction management firm in the city of Philadelphia. Very excited to have them on our team. Not only to help us with the construction work, to also keep us accountable and so help us to understand what the needs are of the small and diverse community and making sure that we continue to keep that in mind as we continue with our work. So we need to make sure that we understand the capacity of the market and that we're building that capacity as well. And then when it's all said and done, making sure that we're tracking and reporting. So again, to keep us honest as well as a way for us to be aware of lessons learned, right? To make sure to see if there's things that we can be improving in this space, that we do that. And then also, as we mentioned, from a workforce development standpoint, we want to make sure that this project is definitely one that is inclusive. Make sure that our job sites are inclusive job sites, that the folks that you see working on the project are reflective of those who are in the community. We want to do that through pre-apprenticeship and training programs, as well as having dedicated job fairs, places where we are connecting with local stakeholders as well, who can assist us with training, as well as job placement, as well as also through those outreach programs and outreach opportunities and dedicated job fairs, identifying opportunities and making sure that folks understand how to apply for them. So I'd like to also turn it over to Mike, who can talk about economic inclusion from the retail standpoint in the Business Incubator Program.
Thanks, Yvette. Yeah, we are really excited about our Business Incubator Program. This will be an opportunity for us to introduce local business to a transit operation. What we will be doing is building out spaces for local businesses to lease, and we will be providing mentoring to them to really help them learn about how to operate in a train station. It's really expensive to build anywhere, and this program will remove that barrier of entry for local businesses. So we expect to get started on that project when construction is completed sometime in 2025. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. And then just to continue on, if we go to the next slide where it talks about Higher 30th Street. And so this is something that we're really excited about because it's our branded platform or program, which we want to really enforce that workforce and community hiring program. And through that, it's where we really are seeking that inclusive workforce. So it's there to maximize employment opportunities for the city of Philadelphia residents on this project. And so the primary objectives of this program will be to recruit qualified residents, as also informing subcontractors about hiring goals and making sure that that's part of their bid packages, as well as providing interested job seekers with both timely and accurate information about training and employment opportunities, as well as how to apply. And then again, just like with business, we want to make sure that we're keeping track of how well we're doing, making sure that there's always some oversight into making sure that we're doing the right thing. Folks are getting the right information, they know about the opportunities, and that we are seeing that real diverse culture on our job sites. And so here you see a list of several people, entities, organizations who we're partnering with on this opportunity. These folks have expertise in workforce development or training, or helping us to identify who the right folks are that can be part of this project. And so really excited to be joining with these partners as part of the community and making sure that we're not just renovating or building new areas of a building, but we are making that positive impact on the community.
Thank you, Yvette, for that overview of the Economic Inclusion Program, both from the Higher 30th Street Advisory Collaborative Group, as well as the Gilbane approach to economic inclusion, and Mike as well. If we move into the community engagement aspect of the project, as you know, today we're hosting a public meeting. It is in fact the first public meeting that we've held for this project, but it's not the first time that we've spoken to folks about the project. We spent the last few months meeting with various stakeholders throughout the city, providing briefings on the project, and also have a planned meeting next month to meet with local business and workforce leaders. In the spring, we will be updating both tenants as well as Amtrak employees on expectations around the redevelopment and construction that's pending. And we'll also be bringing that information back out to you, the general public, so that you can be prepared and aware of the changes that will be coming to the station. Lastly, for our anticipated timeline for future outreach events, in the summer, we will be planning, or we will be hosting, subcontractor and job fairs that are related to the construction aspect of the project. Future subcontractor and job fairs are anticipated throughout the project and later into the in preparation for the retail concession program as well. Now, at this time, if you have questions, please feel free to jot them down into the Zoom Q&A window. And as a friendly reminder, please submit one question at a time. And if you are logged on to Zoom via your phone rather than the internet, you can text your question to area code 445-895-1610. Again, that's 445-895-1610. All right, the first question that we will respond to is, are there plans to reopen the tunnel connecting the Market Street, the MFL to 30th Street concourse? It's extremely dangerous, as you know, for us regular Philadelphians who use the station to have to cross the traffic on foot. Gail, can you respond to this question, please?
Sure, happy to. So Amtrak and PIP are currently coordinating our work with our SEPTA partners to reestablish the underground connection between SEPTA and the Market Frankfurt line. The designs will be shared as we work with them in the public. They are still in the process, and we're still working through the final scope and timeline. So more to follow on that.
Thanks, Gail. Another question for you. Why is it such a long duration, 50-year term for the contract?
Sure, yeah. So the 50-year nature of the contract helps with life cycle maintenance, the building systems, and general performance. I mean, this building's already been here over 100 years, and so the 50 years are just to keep the building maintained in a process, and it is through the partnership with PIP that the 50-year life cycle makes sense for the investment on the infrastructure in the building.
Great. The next question is regarding subcontracting opportunities. And the question is, will the RFP be made publicly available? Oh, excuse me. It's regarding the RFP for the overall project. Will the RFP be made publicly available? And Gail, do you mind responding to that?
Yeah, so the RFP was put together from a shortlisted of responders that came from an RFQ, or request for qualifications, and it is not publicly available.
Thank you, Gail. All right, our next question is there really a need for additional retail space? There are empty stores there now. The pandemic has made the restaurant experience less appealing. Mike, can you please respond to this question?
Sure. We're finding that traffic is recovering, and by 2025, when the commercial or the concession programs opens fully, we will need that space to serve our traffic and serve our passengers and customers. We're also building a program for the next 50 years, and with all the growth that's expected in the district, as well as the ridership on Amtrak and the other rail lines, we believe that there is an additional need for retail.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.
All right, our next question is, are any improvements to parking planned as part of the renovation work? Jeff, can you respond to this question?
Sure. There will be some improvements to some of the parking. The valet parking area, for one, is within the demised area of the project. The general parking garage that sits behind the Sear Center is not part of the project. That's outside of what we call the demised area that this lease represents. And I think there was also a question about whether or not this work would include the SEPTA upper level, and that's kind of the same response there. So SEPTA, the upper level where you board the SEPTA trains, is within the SEPTA lease, and SEPTA's maintenance and improvement responsibility, so not part of this current project.
Okay, thank you for clarifying, Jeff.
And maybe Jennifer, we got airtime here for just a second. I'll say there's been a few questions that have been answered directly in the Q&A and some repetitive questions. So we're trying our best to consolidate those responses. And if they were addressed in the presentation, don't feel like your question was ignored or not answered. We just have put that in there, and you can certainly, I think, email us or get in touch with us through the website if you have further questions after this presentation.
Great. Thank you, Jeff. The next question is, where will the mega bus stop be located? Gail, can you answer that?
Yeah, so as part of the district plan, it outlined a intercity bus terminal to serve the regional bus passengers. So this is not part of the current scope, but we are still working to advance that with the district plan partners. And hopefully we'll have a bus terminal planned in the near term to serve Megabus, Bolt, and any other provider.
Thank you, Gail. All right, our next question is, will project work include the SEPTA upper level? Jeff, can you respond to that, please?
Yeah, sure. I think just as I mentioned in my last response, that's outside the project area for now. So we certainly look forward to potentially a second phase of expansion. I think, as Gail had outlined earlier in the project presentation, that there's future phases, and this is the first step, and just doesn't include that area at this moment.
Thank you for clarifying. All right, I believe this question has been asked and answered. Will the walkway tunnel from the Market Frankfurt line to the station be reopened? Gail, can you respond?
Yeah, I think, as you said, Jennifer, we kind of answered this already. So we are working with our SEPTA partners. They are working on their head house currently, so we're coordinating with them, and we'll explore reopening the Market Frankfurt line tunnel.
Thanks, Gail. All right, our next question is, in light of our new work from home society, does Amtrak really need that much office space? Gail, can you respond?
Yeah, so Amtrak is one company. We are planning on returning to the office and being part of the front line, just as the customers and passengers that we serve. So we are modeling behaviors that we want to see in the rest of the country. Safely, of course.
Thanks, Gail. Is there a proactive strategy regarding the inclusion of minority and minority women business enterprise (MWBE) contractors? Are there spend goals? And since this is real specific to contractors, I'm going to ask Yvette to respond.
Absolutely. And I think we mentioned in the presentation as well that 35% goal, which is a DBE goal, so disadvantaged businesses. So as long as you fall within that, within the category for DBE, then that is included. And our strategy for that will be to make sure that our bid package breakdown, our outreach, our relationship building is all committed to making sure that we have folks that fall within those categories as part of this project.
Thank you, Yvette. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with the DBE certification, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, it is inclusive of minority and women business enterprises that are also small businesses. All right, our next question is, what changes will be made in the north waiting room? Will that space include retail? Jeff, can you respond to this question?
Sure. Yeah. So the north waiting room right now is we look at it as a bit of an underutilized area. There will be some improvements to it. There will be more of the Amtrak operations there. So the ticket counter and baggage checkpoint, a consolidated place for that. And as well, then some of the benches will be relocated from the retail from the main hall to that area to provide seating there. And and then those are the main improvements that are planned for that space right now.
All right, and this follow-on question is similar, and it lists out a number of different areas of the station. Are there no longer plans to restore the north waiting room, which you just responded to, but additionally, the east SEPTA mezzanine, the Market Frankfurt line connection, or to create a lower level retail plaza? So a few different items in there. And Jeff, could you respond to each of those? The east SEPTA mezzanine, the Market Frankfurt line.
Sure. Yeah, so I think, well, that question is coming from a lot of the stuff was published in the district plan, and there is some of that is what I'm going to call deferred to a phase 2 of the project. What we're dealing with right now is the existing kind of station footprint. So the below grade retail concourse is not in the current project, or the Market Frankfurt line connection. I think, as Gail mentioned, we're looking to coordinating what that improvement might look like with SEPTA. But at the moment, we're not planning a retail plaza down there until we've been able to prove out the expansion of the existing retail at grade. And once that's successful, then we can certainly take a look at retail down there. As well, the SEPTA mezzanine and what we call the North Concourse, which is part of the overall district plan, is certainly something that is planned for the future, but it's not part of this existing project.
Thank you, Jeff. Our next question, when will you be sending out the needs and job RFQs and RFPs from your local SBAs? And there's a few acronyms in there. So for those that are unfamiliar, RFQ is request for qualifications, and RFPs is request for proposals. So when will you be sending out the needs and job RFQs and RFPs from your local SBAs? I think this is trying to ask, when will we be bidding out work and sharing that bidding information to local small businesses? And as described in the presentation, we have three main workflows: construction, operations and maintenance, and concessions management. In each of those workflows, there'll be a number of subcontracting opportunities, and they will be, currently you can go to our website and the list of anticipated scopes to be subcontracted out for each of those work streams is listed. It's quite too long to list them out now. And so we encourage you to visit our website early and often to keep up with that information. But additionally, there is information about how each of our each of those work streams will be procuring that information, those services. Yvette, did you want to talk about Gilbane's process?
Or I can just talk about it from a standpoint of, like I said earlier, with the bid packages and the outreach. So we'll make sure that when we do have opportunities available, that we have outreach sessions that will give folks more detail on what those bid package releases are, information on what's included, and how to work with us, what the processes are as far as going through pre-qualification, as far as and our procurement process. We give details on all of that, and then have those bid package releases where folks can get more information and understand how to actually submit their bids.
And do you mind sharing the pre-qualification website? It's on our website, the link to it, but for
Sure, it
the
is.
audience here.
So there's two websites that you can go to. So just to express some interest, if you'd like to do that right now, you can do outreach.gilbaneco.com, as well as to do the full pre-qualification process. That's ibidpro.com. That one's ibidpro.com. Again, that one's the full registration process. But just to express interest, as well as I know a couple folks have asked questions about how will they know when things are coming out, or even to get more information on whether it be any of our training programs or when we have outreach. If you go to that outreach.gilbaneco.com website, that's a good place to register as well.
Great, thank you. And to get to that one part, if I can go back to the slide that shows the schedule, each of those packages will be released prior to those phases. All right. So you can see on your screen, construction will be starting in spring and wrapping up spring 2022 and wrapping up in winter 2025. So throughout that entire process. The next question is, if benches in the main hall are decreased and moved to the north waiting room, will there be access to the tracks from the waiting room? Cody, could you respond to this, please?
Yeah, sure. So the move of some of the benches from the main concourse to the waiting room really is a result of sort of blending that retail and passenger experience into the main concourse. Access to the tracks from the north waiting room will remain largely the way it is right now. We're not changing the entry or escalators down to the track level, so it will remain the way it is, but there will be adequate wayfinding and signage to really easily navigate to your desired track.
Thank you.
And Cody, maybe just to clarify for people, the historic benches that are built into part of the stairs and escalators that go down, those will remain in the main waiting room. So there will still be historic benches. They're just some of the freestanding ones are being relocated.
Yes. Thanks for the clarity.
All right, our next question is, are you coordinating with surrounding developers, especially Brandywine? The possibility for coordination of this plan with the growing business district and neighborhood around it is strong and a great opportunity for a comprehensive development of this area of the city. Gail, can you respond to this question?
Yeah, certainly. That coordination is sort of the vision behind the district plan. Brandywine is one of the principals, as well as Drexel, SEPTA, PennDOT. And we are all trying to coordinate our efforts and work together to look at the area surrounding the 30th Street station as a full district. So we are certainly being mindful of our partners in the area and the larger community and coordinating as much as possible.
Thank you, Gail. Our next question is there a commitment to have local vendors versus chains as part of the concessions? And what percentage of small business owners is being forecasted in the food concession area? Mike, I think this one's got your name written all over it.
Thanks, Jen. Yes, local is so important to us. That's what we say about sense of place. You can't have sense of place without local concepts, local operators. And so we will be focused on that very, very closely. I don't have a percentage, but we will of course have that incubator program, as well as some of our retail and food and beverage units that will be leased to local operators, local concepts, local brands. So thank you.
Thanks, Mike. And for the audience, 108 of you are hanging on strong, and we just want to thank you for your patience as a number of questions have been posted into the Q&A box, and our team is confirming that each of those are being answered and minimizing duplication of the same question. All right, our next question is, for transit to and from the station, what areas will taxi cabs, Uber, or Lyft drivers be in? So rideshare, if you will. Gail, can you respond to this?
Sure, yeah. So as construction is sequenced, the circulation patterns will change. The pickup and drop off may move and shift, but we'll always have it available, and we're working with the PIP team to be thoughtful on how we incorporate this at each stage of the construction.
Thanks, Gail. Right. Will the sidewalks or hardscape around the building, i.e. that is the east side taxi area, be improved? Will the sidewalks and hardscape around the building be improved? Yanni, can you respond to this?
There's some scope of work for the hardscape and sidewalks around the area that are part of the state of good repair. But the major improvements will be around the Market Street Plaza.
Great, thank you, Yanni. All right. Our next question is, how will you be sending out the bid packages for SBAs to access an opportunity to see and bid those jobs? This question is really important because our team has come together for a truly economic inclusive project. And what we've done is a couple things, and what you can expect to receive and get that information is we'll be posting, or it actually is already posted on our website. And our website is www.gray30thstreetstation.com. And on the website, you can see a list of anticipated scopes for construction and operations and maintenance, as well as instructions on pre-qualifying to work with Gilbane Building Company for the construction phase, as well as pre-qualifying with Johnson Controls for operations, as well as life cycle maintenance items. So those two pieces of information will help you get prepared, and once you're pre-qualified, you'll be able to get additional information from those lead entities. Additionally, as bidding opportunities become available, we'll be working with our Higher 30th Street Advisory Collaborative, and that's a number of small business and diverse business advocates throughout the city that will be our partners in sharing that information to vendors, prospective vendors in Philadelphia and around the region. The next question is, will there be any improvements to the waiting area on the tracks? Jeff, can you respond to this question?
Sure. The waiting areas on the tracks, are not being improved at the moment. And I think what we're talking about is at the platform level. So anything at the platform level is going to remain in operations with Amtrak, and there's improvements to all the areas to get to the platform levels, all the stairs and escalators, all the elevators will be all refurbished, and the platforms themselves will, get a small refurbishment, but they're not really like any major changes to the platforms. They're going to continue to be in operation through the life of the project.
Thanks. And while you're at it, the question about SEPTA mezzanine and renovations on that side, will there be any renovation of the retail on the SEPTA mezzanine level?
Sure, and maybe I misspoke a little bit earlier. The retail existing kiosks will be re-tenanted and refurbished, but just the the access areas to the SEPTA trains and stuff is outside of our jurisdiction.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, how do we get more information about the apprentice training courses? So there's apprentice and there's pre-apprentice program, and those programs are operated through the local unions and their organizations within. We do have that information on some of those pre-apprenticeship programs listed on our website. Again, that's www.gray30thstreetstation.com. And if you go to economic inclusion and I believe it's job opportunities, there on that page, you will see information about pre-apprenticeship programs and unions in the city. All right, our next question. With the addition of more pedestrian space surrounding the building, will there be any changes to traffic flow around the building to make it easier to navigate on foot? Yanni, can you respond to this question?
Okay, with the addition of pedestrian space around the building. With the elimination of the little Market Street, that the goal of that is, of course, is just to make the pedestrian flow around the building safer and easier around the existing station. But other than that, we don't anticipate at this particular phase any other changes to the traffic flow around the building.
Thank you, Yanni. Will there be bike lanes added? Cody, can you respond to this question?
Yeah, sure. There are bike lanes planned for Market Street, whether they go on the 30th Street station side of the street or on the opposite side of the street is sort of under planning, but there's definitely an acknowledgement to bike lanes. There will be bike racks provided on the Market Street Plaza side as well. So it will be bike friendly.
Thanks, Cody. What will happen with the North Concourse space? Jeff, can you respond to this question?
Sure. So the North Concourse space, as I talked about earlier, is really part of the next phase of the renovations in terms of providing track access there, and not something that's contemplated in a current scope of work, but definitely something that is on the block for steps 2.
Thanks, Jeff. How will public restrooms be addressed? The question is, how will public restrooms be addressed? Yanni, can you respond to this question?
Yes, so all the public restrooms on the main concourse will be rehabilitated, refurbished, new construction. They will be phased so that there is restrooms available to the customers at all times. And then the restrooms that are now located on the north side, north waiting room, the men's and women's will be laid out so that they're closer and side by side, as opposed to one being on the east end and one being on the west end.
Thanks, Johnny. Another question for you. How soon will the building entrances reopen?
As they currently are, or during construction? Because right now I believe that the entrances are currently closed because of the Amtrak Police Department. I think that'd be more of a Gail question.
Well, I guess maybe let's think about it in 2 ways. Will the doors be, will the building entrances be reopened prior to construction? And then again, once construction's complete, when will they be reopened?
It depends on the timing and particular phase of construction. So we will have to close certain entrances to the building depending on work taking place in those particular areas for the safety of the customers and the surrounding people.
Yeah, I think the question might a little bit relate to some of the entrances are currently closed, but there is definitely a plan to reopen them. We don't have a defined timeline on that, but it's something that we are working through with Amtrak and the Amtrak Police Department at the moment.
Thank you. Will access for short-term parking be eliminated? Yanni?
No, it will not be eliminated. There might be temporary closures depending on the construction phasing, but it will not be eliminated.
Thanks, Yanni. And as we're waiting for those questions to come into us, I do also want to notify those on the call that you can also submit questions to our project email address at info@gray30thstreetstation.com, as well as on our website. There is an option to not only subscribe for future updates, but also to input a question right there on the website. All right, our next question, how will the checked bag area work? Cody, can you respond to this question?
Yeah, sure. So with the reopening or the repurposing of the north waiting room, you'll be able to get ticketing information and baggage check directly connected to that room. So instead of it being remote and sort of separated from the main concourse, that waiting area of the north waiting room will help you be much closer to where you get your baggage and where you check your baggage.
Thank you, Cody. Our next question is, will new lighting include energy efficient LED lighting? Will new lighting include energy efficient LED lighting, Yanni? Can you help us out?
Absolutely. All the new fixtures will be energy efficient LED lighting, and as well as the historic light fixtures, we will re-lamp them with LED lighting as well.
Great, thank you. All right, another question is, will Amtrak employees be relocated while the offices are being renovated? Also, which floors of the corporate offices are being renovated? Gail, can you respond to this question?
Yeah, so to answer the floors, all the floors of the corporate office space will be renovated. We're working with Gilbane and the PIP team to sort of a game of Tetris around people in the offices. And for any Amtrak employees that are on the call, we will be doing an internal briefing to give you more information as details of the office space are worked out. And we will continue to operate the station throughout the construction, both office spaces and the rail operations and concourse spaces. So we will do that to minimize disruption, keep safety as a high priority, but we will continue operations of the entire station, including offices, throughout the duration of the construction period.
Gail,
Thanks,
this
Gail.
is Jenny. I'm just going to chime in and say, in case the person who asked that was asking because they knew the second floor historic corridor had been retained during the 90s renovation, the plan is that while the second floor will be renovated, that historic corridor will be retained.
Thanks for adding that.
Great. All right, we have another question. And it just went away. All right, does PIP plan to use any of the station area for private events? Jeff, can you answer this question?
Yeah, so I think similar to the way the station operates now, there are time to time events, special permit events that are requested, but it's not like we are planning to close any of the station areas for private events on a regular basis. There'll certainly be one-off events from time to time, usually on off hours, that we will run through the permitting process with Amtrak, but it's not like a key part of our operating plan.
Thank you, Jeff. Cody, this question is for you. Is there any consideration for the long queues that form when passengers are waiting for Amtrak Keystone trains, specifically in gate 7 and 9?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's definitely something that we're considering as we're working through sort of figuring out how that retail and waiting area work in concert. So that's high on the priority list in that passenger experience piece of the project.
Thank you, Cody. Our next question is, will sidewalks around the station be constructed or replaced to be fully accessible and compliant? And Ani, can you respond to this question?
Yes, of course, my pleasure. So all these sidewalks at the Market Street Plaza will be replaced and fully accessible and compliant. The sidewalks along the north, south, and eastern portion are not scheduled at this time to be replaced, other than some minor repairs to get them up to the state of good repair.
Great, thanks, Yanni. Our next question is, does 30th Street Station, but I'm gonna insert gray. Does gray 30th Street Station need improvements to protect it from events like Hurricane Ida? Gail, can you respond?
Sure, of course. Anyone in Philadelphia saw that we had quite an experience with Hurricane Ida and lots of flooding, and resiliency is always something we're planning for and making sure we're prepared for even the 1 in 100-year storm. So we are being mindful of protecting the station from future events, whether it be flooding or other resiliency efforts.
Thanks, Gail.
So I think, Jennifer, we're actually running kind of down on maybe the last few questions. The last one I saw come in was when the Solari board was going to return, and I think we certainly know from the district plan, we heard from everyone in the public that Solari board is a loved piece of infrastructure. We do plan to reuse it, but as part of the retail program, but not as an information Solari board for where your train's going to come. So look forward to creative reuse of that piece of architecture, but. And that was kind of our last question there. I don't know if there's any more that we have in the room there, if we wanted to wrap up.
You know, one just popped up. Gail will, and thank you for that last answer, Jeff. But this next question is, will the platforms be refurbished? And Gail, can you respond to that, please?
Yeah, of course. So Amtrak is retaining the rail operations, which includes the platforms, and so they will be refurbished and maintained just as they are all of our stations. So that's still under the Amtrak purview.
Right, thank you. To just point, are there any more questions from the public that haven't quite yet been answered? And of course, if something pops into your mind later on tonight or another day, again, feel free to reach out to us via email at info@gray30thstreetstation.com, or you can also contact us by phone by calling, by calling area code 267-202-5270. That's 267-202-5270. And of course, our website is a great resource for information, as well as a place where you can insert a question.
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for your attendance and participation tonight.
Yes. Great. Well, thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to the next public meeting and staying in touch with you. Have a good night.